guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I realized it has been a long time since I did a car accessories video, and I really wanted a Christmas one for in my car. But yeah, I know Christmas is next week, which once this video is up, it might be the week of Christmas, I'm not even sure. But this could even be a good Christmas gift for somebody. And as you can see, I have all my little scrap balls of yarn that I'm going to be using for today. And I'm going to be starting with the green because the one I want hanging off of my car mirror is going to be holly. I almost said mistletoe. Sometimes I get them confused. So the hook that we're going to be using is the usual 4mm hook that I like to use, and you're also going to need a yarn sewing needle. You're just going to need these three colors, by the way, like a whitish, red, and green. I don't have any white, so... Oh, we also need scissors, obviously. We are going to start off with making one of the mistletoe leaves. This is the first one that I made, and it is about 6.5 inches long, I believe, so that's how long I'm going to have my mistletoe leaves. I'm going to do a second color of green now. I found this one, I didn't know I had it, but I'm going to do another one this size in the dark green, which is what we're going to do right now, and then I might do a slightly smaller one yet as well. We'll see. So I'm going to try something new with this one. I was considering adding some detailing to the center of the leaf, like a vein, sorry. So I'm gonna leave a long tail on here just in case I decide to do that. We're gonna leave like 6 inches before we make our magic ring. And if you've never made a magic ring before, we're just gonna wrap it around your finger like this and then push the yarn through to make a loop. Really simple. And tighten it around your hook. And then we're going to chain 20. Just yarn over and pull through. Yarn over and pull through 20 times. 18, 19, 20. Right, and then we are going to skip our first chain stitch, and in the second one we're going to work a single crochet, which is just where you insert it through the chain. I'm just going through one of the 3 strings in my second chain stitch and pull up a loop. So you have 2, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Then we're going to do a half double crochet, yarn over, insert it in the next chain stitch, pull up a loop. So you have 3 on your hook, and then yarn over and pull through. Gonna do that one again. Yarn over, because we want 2 half double crochets. So you have 2, and then insert it through your next chain stitch, pull your yarn through. You have 3, yarn over and pull through all 3. Next, we are going to do 3 double crochets. So again, we just put our yarn over our hook, insert it into the next chain stitch, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and that is a double crochet. So we're going to do that another 2 times. Yarn over into our next chain stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and again, yarn over, insert into your chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. You have 3 double crochets. And next we are going to make 7 triple crochets. So yarn over twice, so you have 3 loops on your hook before you even insert it. Insert it into the chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, so that you have 4. Yarn over, pull through 2, you still have 3. Yarn over, pull through 2, you still have 2. Yarn over and pull through 2. Just like that. And I'll show you again. So yarn around your hook twice, insert it, pull up a loop, you have 4 loops. Yarn over your hook, and it helps to turn your crochet hook down so you don't grab the loops that you're working on. Pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through another 2 loops. So that's 2 triples. We need 5 more. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And from here, we're going to go ahead and make, sorry, it's kind of curling on me a little bit, 3 double crochets into the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and then 2 half doubles, 1, 2, and then 1, and then 3, sorry, single crochets into the last one, which you can do some on the other side as well. Just going to move the tail over because we're working this last one as a round so that we can start working up the other side of the chain. So from here, we're going to do 2 half double crochets in the opposite side of the chain, and we're just working the same thing that we did on the other side. And then 3 double crochets, sorry. Oh, that was not right. I think I did a triple. 1, 2, 3. And after your 3 double crochets, you're going to make 7 triples again. And then we're going to do another 3 double crochets. Two half double crochets. And then since we did 1 single crochet to start, we're going to do 2 single crochets into the last one, and then slip stitch into your first single crochet. So right here, this is our chain that we didn't use. So, and you can tell your stitches by the V's. So we're just going to slip it under the V, and then yarn over and pull through the V, and then through the stitch on your hook. Then we're going to chain 1, make a single crochet. Then we're going to start our points on the leaf. So in the next stitch, we're going to make a half double crochet, then chain 2, then make a half double crochet. Then we're going to make 2 single crochets, and then on the next stitch, again, a half double crochet, chain 2, a half double crochet. So it's kind of a V stitch. We're just going to repeat that all the way till we reach the end of the leaf. 2 single crochets, and then half double, chain 2, half double. And then you should have your 2 single crochets before you get to the tip of the leaf, which should be the second single crochet. Then what we're going to do into this one is we're going to make a single crochet, chain 2, and a single crochet again. And then we will continue down the other side with the same thing we've been repeating up that side. And then once you get down here, I'm making, I think, my final V-stitch. And then we started it with making 1 single crochet. So we're gonna make 2 single crochets here. And then from our last single crochet, we're going to chain 4, 2, 3, 4. Skip the first one and then just single crochet your way down your chain, which means you should only have 3 single crochets in your chain. This is for the stem of the leaf. And then we're going to slip stitch into the same stitch as our last single crochet. Sorry, I just bumped my camera. And then we're going to slip stitch again into our first single crochet just to join everything together. Then do a tight chain to tie it and pull a bit of a tail. You don't need that long of a tail. And then we have our leaf finished. For our smaller leaf, wow, my voice sounds awful, I'm sorry. We're going to only chain 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 12, 13, 14. Make our single crochet into the second chain. And then I'm going to make 3 half doubles, I think. Yeah. We're gonna make 3 half doubles and then 5 doubles. So 3 half doubles and then 5 doubles on this side. And 5, and then we will do 3 half doubles once again. 2, 3, and then 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. I'm trying to work around the tail on this round or this side so that I don't have to weave it in later. So 3 half doubles. 1, 2, 3, and then 5 doubles. 1, 5. And then 3 half doubles again. 1, 2, 3, and then 2 singles into the last one. And then slip stitch into your first single crochet. And chain 1. So this one's going to be significantly smaller. Make a single crochet into your first single crochet before we start off with our V stitches once again, which is the half double crochet, chain 2, and half double crochet into the same stitch. And then 2 single crochets. And again, we're going to work that all the way to the front of our leaf. And then 2 single crochets to reach the front of the leaf, and we're going to again make our single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet into the stitch right on the edge, and then continue down the other side with our same repeat as before. And then once you get here, you should have 2 more before your slip stitch. So we're going to make 2 single crochets, and then from this one we are going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then again single crochet back down your chain, 2, 3. After you have your 3 single crochets, slip stitch back into the stitch that you have your base single crochet from that chain into, and then slip stitch into your first single crochet of the previous round, and then fasten off and cut your yarn. And then you can weave in your end. And then at this point, I have my 3 here that I'm going to use. I think I'm going to hang them kind of like this or something. And now we are ready to make the berries for the holly. So how we're going to do this is we're going to do a magic ring. If you've never done that before, the way I do it is I take my 2 fingers, counterclockwise, pinch it, have 2 strands over like this. I kind of hold it there so that it stays tight, so I can go over, pull through, twist it like this, grab the yarn one more time, and chain and pull it tight. So that you should be left with this. And now we're going to make 5 single crochets into our magic ring, and you want to be working around both strands here. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then at this point you can go ahead and take this tail, pull it as tight as you can, and then slip stitch into your first single crochet over here. And then we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to increase in every single stitch around. Just when you get around here, don't increase in this one, because this is your slip stitch. This isn't an actual stitch. So at the end of this round, you should have 10 stitches. So increasing in every stitch is just making 2 stitches in every stitch around. And after I have increased in every stitch, I have my slip stitch and my chain left, and then into my first single crochet here, this is where I slip stitch. And then chain 1. And for your next round, we're just going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch around, so you should still have 10 at the end. And then slip stitch into your first stitch. And chain 1. And usually you would stuff your project before you decrease, but because we don't have much space inside these berries, we're going to decrease first. And a decrease is you pull up a loop in 1 stitch, pull up a loop in the second stitch. In this case, we're only doing it in 2 stitches. So you have 3 loops, and then yarn over and pull through all 3, because we are taking 2 loops and turning them into one or two stitches, sorry, and changing them into one stitch. So pull up a loop in one stitch, pull up a loop in the second stitch, and yarn over and pull through all three. And you should be able to do this 5 times so that you come back to having 5 stitches just like you did at the start. And then we're going to slip stitch back into our first decrease. And then chain to fasten off, and we're going to pull a longer tail. And then the way I stuff it, I'm going to take this tail here, and I'm just going to use the end of my scissors to press it down into the berry. If you have a larger crochet hook, that also works, but the 4mm is kind of too small for this. And if you want more stuffing, I like to take other scraps of my yarn and just save them to use for stuff like this. There we go. And then we're going to, actually you might want to leave yours a little bit longer than this. And then I'm going to go through just the back loops of my stitches because that's, I know it's going to make it a little bit pointier, but it's okay because this is going to be the back of the berry and I don't think you're going to see it. All right, and then you're going to want to make 2 more of those like I already have. I have 3 here. And then in order to connect all of this, I'm thinking one way that this would work is if I just thread these strings through and then in a way tie them on and tie the leaves together in the process, and then I don't have to hot glue it or anything like that. I'm just gonna see how they sit like that, and if that doesn't work, then we'll come up with something else. So you're gonna put your leaves in the order that you want them to be, and the first one I want to hold every single one of the leaves together, and I think I want my cluster to be a triangle, so like 1 berry on the top and 2 berries on the bottom. So I'm just going to kind of find my placement here and just leave the strand sticking through like that. I want to keep the bases of the berries pretty close together if I can. And then I have this as my bunch. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to tie the ends together. And then it is all connected like this, and we have a nice little bunch of holly. I'm going to go ahead and cut these ends off. And how I'm going to hang this, I'm thinking I should probably connect it to the stems somehow. I'm thinking white. I always have to do it longer to fit around my mirror, so I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a chain, and then I'll just tie it. So I'm just going to do a slip stitch, and I think I'm going to do 20 chains. 5. And then I'm going to leave it at that, and then I'm going to fasten it off. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to just see if I can thread it through using my yarn needle. And these ones are all pretty close, so what I'm going to do is just kind of thread it through the stems on my holly. Yes, just like that. All right, and then it will hang off of the stems, if you can see that. Perfect. So that is what we're going to be doing for that. And then next we go to the coasters. And our coasters are going to be little peppermints, and this is what they're going to look like at the end. So we're going to start off with our white yarn. Mine's a little bit more of an off-white because I didn't have any, but it's all right. So we're going to start off again with our magic ring like before. And then we're going to make 12 single crochets into our magic ring. And then once you have your 12 single crochets, just tighten it up, and then into the first single crochet, we're going to slip stitch. This, and then chain 2. And then we're going to, this chain 2 is not going to count as a stitch, by the way. Now we're going to make 2 half double crochets in every stitch around, which should get us from 12 to 24 stitches, but we're going to be adding a new color here. So we're going to make 2 white half double crochets in the first stitch, and then don't finish your half double crochet. This is where we're going to change colors. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to leave a long tail and pull it through here, just like that. And I'm not even going to, I'm going to work around this tail for a few stitches, like maybe just these 2, but I'm going to tie it onto my center magic ring tail, like knot them together, because when there's so many stitches it has a hard time staying tight. So I'm just going to pull it as tight as I can and then knot it to help keep the center as closed as I possibly can. So we're going to go ahead and work 2 red half double crochets into the next stitch. And again, don't finish the second half double crochet, because here we're going to take our white again and we're going to use that to pull it through the red. And then we're going to do 2 white half double crochets, but again, don't finish that one, and then switch and finish with the red. And that's just how we're going to work this round. Like, I'm going to go ahead and tie this off like I explained. So you're just going to pull it as tight as you can, then grab both of your tails and just tie it once and twice. And then I'm going to cut them off right away so that they are out of my way. So I'm just going to continue with my 2 half double crochets, switching colors every time until I reach the end, and then I'll be right back. So once I get to my last 2 half double crochets in this round, I am again going to finish off in my white color so that the slip stitch to end the round will not be as obvious. So we're just going to slip stitch into our first half double crochet and then chain 2, and then we're going to make a half double crochet in our first one, in our first stitch, and then an increase, which is 2 half double crochets into our second one. And then in this increase, the second one in this increase, we're going to switch to our red, and then we're going to do the same thing in our red section, 1 in the first one, and then 2 half double crochets into the second one, where we are also again going to do our color change. And you're just going to continue to do that all the way around again. Now we're going to do our last round. So once we've switched back to our white, I'm going to do a chain 2 again, make a half double crochet in the first 2 stitches, and then an increase into the third, where again we're going to switch to our red, and then increases in the first 2, or sorry, 1 half double crochet in the first 2 red, and then an increase into the third one, where we are again going to switch to our white. And just again, you're going to continue that all the way around to finish up the last round of your coaster. And after you're done with that round, you're going to go ahead, fasten off, and cut off your yarn. And then what I like to do here, yeah, this, you can see all of our changes on the back there. I like to go through the stitch right in front of where I fastened off. To make it a little less obvious, so I can pull this in, and then I'm going to tie these two ends together. I'm tying them towards the base of the red and not the white, so that you can't see the knot as well from the other side. And then we're just going to cut this off. And then there you have it, your 2 peppermint coasters for your car. And then our Christmas hanger. And yeah. And that is all for today's tutorial. I hope you guys really enjoyed this one. I will be having some pictures following this. You guys can see how it looks in the car if you are undecided as if you want to make this or not. But if you do end up making this, leave a comment or a like and let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next video.